A natural med isn't just a substance you take. It is a lifestyle that one lives to amplify their health. We don't always choose how long we will be on this planet, but we can take action on the quality of life that we wish to enjoy.
The Natural Med podcast interviews different professionals and experts who look at improving the quality of health so they can live a more fulfilling life. Whether that be physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, or spiritually, we discover the secrets to their own journey and the small steps individuals can take on a daily basis to improve the quality of their life. Come with me as we travel, research, and discover how we can make incremental changes on a daily basis to live a more fulfilled and balanced life. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Natural Med podcast. Today, I am very excited. I have Eve and Paige from the MCWellness Group. Welcome, Eve and Paige.
Hello.
So, a super special day today at Lone Star Naturals. We had a cannabis and sex event, which was very informative. It was amazing, a great presentation. And so I'm going to introduce Eve and Paige, and they can tell you a little bit about themselves. So go ahead.
All right. Hello. My name is Nurse Eve, and we're from Houston, Texas, and we're part of MCWellness Group. You can find us on Instagram at MCWellness Group. And what we do is we're nurses who specialize in the endocannabinoid system, and specifically one of our favorite topics is women's health and health in general, and really fine-tune it a little bit more. We do like to talk about women's health in the sex arena because sexual health is part of our overall wellness.
It is, yeah. Yeah. It is. So how did you get involved with this? Because you're the founder of MCWellness Group.
Sure. So I've been a nurse for about 16 years. I have a master's in nursing education, a doctorate in healthcare administration, specializing in quality analytics, hence why I love research and the data.
So tell me about how you got involved with MCWellness Group. You're the founder of it. Tell us a little bit more about it.
So I have always really been pro-cannabis.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to use when I was working traditional roles in nursing. And so when I was working in non-traditional roles, I was traveling. Mm-hmm. And so I was looking, and I was coming into states where they had medical programs. And that's where I was really introduced into the endocannabinoid system and the science behind it. And it clicked.
Yeah.
And then in 2016, that's really where I just became confident in my knowledge and started helping people incorporate cannabis into their wellness.
That's awesome. That's cool. And tell us about how you got involved.
All right. So, hello, everyone. I'm Nurse Paige. I have been, in a more traditional role, and about a year ago, I joined forces with MCWellness Group through the Cannabis Nurse Network. Found out we live 7 minutes from each other, and cannabis is something that I've been really passionate about ever since even before going to nursing school. I've been studying about the endocannabinoid system and knew that it was going to be something that I eventually really dove fully into. And I had a family member, my grandma used to use cannabis, and so seeing her influence and seeing her experiences with it at a young age just really phrased my mentality to incorporate those other holistic remedies. Yeah. So cannabis is just one of our tools that we can use to strengthen our endocannabinoid system, and it's a really fun tool to play with.
That's awesome. I love that y'all are both nurses. I'm a nurse, and we both see the benefit in cannabis. And I love opportunities to talk to other professionals in the cannabis industry because it further normalizes cannabis, because there's such this stigma, this taboo against it. And I just, there's so much science and so much benefit behind cannabis. So it's so good to see all that.
Yeah,
So
I would say that one thing that was kind of infuriating is that prohibition has been around 90 years, right?
Yeah.
And during that time when we look at the medical profession and how all these discoveries, cannabis was left out due to stigma.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we weren't taught that in nursing school. Me having an awareness of what it was and then going into school and not being taught, and it was taught as a problem, as cannabis was something that people used and it was something we should look down on. Yeah. And that was the stigma of how we were taught that in nursing school. So it's really nice to bring that awareness and spread the knowledge about the beautiful plants.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So tell me a little bit more on how cannabis can help with like women's health and women's sex and everything.
Well, of course. This is one of my favorite topics.
Yeah.
Finding the two.
Dig right into this.
I will. So I'm not going to go over into the endocannabinoid system, overview. But so we know the highest receptors are in our brain. And vulva owners, our highest receptors are in our female reproductive system. Like really mainly in the uterus, like that's the highest concentration, but they're through without.
Yeah.
And so with that being in mind, we have all of those receptors, right? And so cannabis works to help in reduce anxiety and kind of get out of your head, because sexy time really starts here, and that intimacy starts in your head and not in your genitalias. So also it can help relax you, which relaxes your muscles, provide lubrication. So both can help with painful intercourse, be that, vaginal or anal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And how are some ways that we can kind of incorporate cannabis products into our sexual health? Like how are different ways?
Well, I would start first by having like a sound endocannabinoid system. So there's things that you can do every day. So that's really where that self-love comes into play. That's important, and having that relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
And knowing your body. And then cannabis is just the added benefit. So it starts there.
Yeah. Definitely.
And there's different methods that you can do, and it's important that you take into consideration different, what products you have available to you, what time you have to really, if it's sex that you're wanting to get into or intimacy with just yourself, just how much time do you have, and tailoring the right products for that time frame, and having an awareness of how long it takes for those products to kick in. And, there's different ways you can use it. There's massage oils, there's lubes, there's suppositories. Mixing and matching them is fun whenever you're a little bit cannabis familiar.
Yeah.
You kind of have an awareness of what works for you.
I like that, cannabis familiar.
Yeah. And then just the importance of journaling with it too, and seeing what products are helping you and helping you to achieve the goal that you're looking for, and then knowing your dosing and finding that sweet spot of the dosing.
Yeah.
Because it does take time. Cannabis is not a traditional medicine, so what works for you is not going to always work for somebody else. So really just finding what works for you and finding your dosing, and it's going to take a little time, but it's a beautiful journey to be on.
Yeah. That's
self-discovery
awesome.
With cannabis.
Ooh, yes.
My favorite journey.
Yeah, I love it. Nice. And there's you have a women's series coming up too.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more about that.
Well,
or give us little
tidbits.
Yeah,
of course. Would love to. So this is going to be a drip series. Details are to come. And so what we're really going to work on is the women's health, and that includes the sexual component, but just first and foremost, starting with our anatomy, because many of us are not aware of our anatomy.
It's so true. It's so true. Many women don't know, exactly what they have going on down there. And it's good to know.
And be familiar and, understand that just because yours might not look the same as someone else's, it's beautiful. And just coming into that power.
So we'll start with the anatomy, and then we're going to just move on into different areas of how your endocannabinoid system is, how important it is. We kind of highlighted that now, and we're going to be talking about different conditions. So or concerns or issues. I hate saying disease state, but, and how you can use your endocannabinoid system to kind of work through those.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
Also kind of tying into the productivity realm, because with women, we're sometimes the leaders of the house and playing into all those different roles, whether it be that the mother, sister, daughter, whatever role that you have, and just being the most productive that you can be with taking your endocannabinoid system into mind, and just working towards whatever role that is.
Yeah, I like that because a lot of moms in general, they have their children to take care of, their spouse, the household, everything, and they forget to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And that's super important. If you're a caregiver, just like a nurse, a mom, a spouse, like it's good to take care of yourself first before you take care of others.
For
super
sure.
important.
Well, and I think
I love that y'all focus on that.
Thank you. And I think it's also an act of love to take care of yourself first, because like you're modeling that for your family and others.
I like that.
So,
Yeah.
So
And then showing them, like if you have kids, just showing them that it's okay to speak up for what it is that you want and you desire. And it's important. We all have the right for pleasure and for,
Yeah.
doing all that. Oh, you mentioned, we forgot to talk about the perimenopause and that aspect.
Oh, yes.
So,
yes. Tell
this
us
is
more.
another
Yes.
jam. But side note, I'll also be presenting at the Cannabis Nurses Conference twice this year.
Okay.
I also did it last year.
Where is that at?
This is going to be virtual, and then also this one's going to be in San Diego. Yes.
Is that with the Cannabis Nurses Association?
Cannabis
Nurse
Nurses
Network. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, fun.
And so I'll be talking about cannabis and sex, women's sexual health. And then also last year, I went on a crazy ride. I'm still on that ride.
Yeah.
It's called perimenopause, right?
Yeah.
And fun times. And so I was able to present on cannabis and our endocannabinoid system and peri to post menopause. And we worked with Linda. Excuse me. We worked with what is it? Gibbs Media. Yes, we worked with Gibbs Media. Gibbs Media on doing a holistic women's series where we talk from peri to postmenopause. So we represented the cannabis space there.
That's awesome.
So that's very near to dear because as vulva owners, our hormones, our sexual hormones can play a role in that dosing.
Yeah, they can. They definitely can. It's just crazy how your hormones just go up and down throughout the month and everything. And, like y'all had said earlier, you need more or less cannabis or CBD different times of the month. That's
something
true.
we'll also be touching on is just like being aware of those hormonal fluctuations and kind of knowing what that looks like for you and figuring out what those signs are and knowing when you might need a little bit more of a dose because of our hormonal fluctuations.
And I would say that our intention is empowerment, and empowerment is knowledge and showing you tools that you can implement. So this is really where our courses come into play. We have a cannabis wellness course now, and what we do is we walk you through, and it's interactive because we can't do the work for you. This is your health. You take ownership of that, and so we provide you with a workbook. And so by the end, you have your own care plan in nursing terms, but like your own plan of action and a backup plan because sometimes products are out or discontinued. So kind of like knowing what you're comfortable with.
And at the end, we also show you how to make your own products.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, in a smell-proof way.
Yes.
So showing how to make it, and that way it's empowering you and like getting your hands in the medicine and then also making it more accessible because for everyone, it's not accessible. The products can get expensive. And like when you want to try different cannabinoids, it's a great way to kind of see what works for you before making the full commitment to a product.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, because it can get expensive for that. And and having, using good quality flour and using it in teas or making butters or topicals. That's
smoothies.
Oh, yes, the smoothies.
We talk about like COAs in our course too.
That's very important.
Knowing what a COA is and how to check the labs and know what you're looking for in them.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just giving you, the tools to need. Yeah. The tools that will help you.
And your group helps different patients and clients to like if they're taking like medications and how that interacts with CBD and cannabis and everything.
Yes, like we also have one-on-one consultations.
Oh, okay.
And
cool.
So what that looks like is we work with you and we do medication check, and interaction and interactions and make sure everything is fine. We set you up. We also provide education because that's important, depending on your level of knowledge, and set you up with a care plan or a wellness plan, what we like to call it.
also incorporating the other aspects of your endocannabinoid system. So like we said, cannabis is just one of the fun tools that we use, but we're really big on the whole mind-body aspect, mind-body-soul. So incorporating, meditation, breath work, different things like that, and incorporating a practice for yourself.
I love that.
Through like developing your own wellness routine.
Based on evidence, science.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's the
I like
science
it.
part.
Yes.
So if you were to give our women listeners kind of one tip or thing that they can do on a daily basis to improve since we're talking about sexual health, their sexual health, what would that be? If there's one little thing, like little words of advice or little thing for the women out there.
Is to daily look yourself in the mirror in your non-dominant eye and say something wonderful to yourself or spicy, whatever you're feeling.
I love that. I love
Yes.
that. The words of encouragement you're giving yourself to
Exactly.
start the day. I love that.
Yes.
I love
Because
that.
it all, sex starts in our heads.
Yeah.
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 And then exploring, and some of these practices, a lot of people, when we talk about sex, you think that we're referring to intercourse with two people, but it takes you having that self-love for yourself and knowing what feels good to you, so you can really vocalize what that looks like to other people, to your partners. And so you have to know what feels good for you. So just getting curious with your own body, I think that's really important, and do some self-exploration, starting with it first with yourself, and then that way you feel more comfortable speaking up for what it is that you want and what it is that you like.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. So how do our listeners find you guys on social media? Do you have a website? Give us all the details.
So we're most active on our Instagram, which is at MCWellness Group. And we post in our link tree, we have the course where you can sign up there. Our website's just mcwellnessgroup.com.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Cool.
And we'll be dripping more information about the Women's Health series. And we're always open to suggestions. So if there's something that you really want to know and want to learn about, let us know. We're really open to tailoring the content for what it is that, our viewers and our clients want to hear more and want to learn more about.
Awesome.
Just making it accessible.
Well, thank you, Eve. Thank you, Paige, for
Thank
coming
you.
out here and taking the
beautiful
time to
space.
kind of, share with us about women's health when it relates to cannabis and everything.
Thank you for having us. This was wonderful.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful event.
Yeah, I'll see
Very
y'all
grateful.
see y'all next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.